All you have to do is watch a UFC event, listen to the commentators, and you're going to hear them praise Muay Thai. They're going to say how it is the most dangerous striking style in the world, and if you're going to train for MMA, you want to be training Muay Thai. But there are some weaknesses, and if you are facing a Muay Thai opponent in your next bout, I have some tips for you today to defeat this style. It should go without saying that defeating Muay Thai and the strategies that you're gonna have are very dependent on what fight style you're competing in. If it's MMA, very different. If it's kickboxing, different strategy. If you're fighting a Muay Thai fighter in a Muay Thai fight, again, it might be a different strategy. But I'm gonna give you some of the successful tips that I have had in my career as a kickboxer facing Muay Thai. And very often when you get a Muay Thai fighter, whether it be MMA or kickboxing or a Muay Thai fight, they're still gonna be doing this. But it's still so dangerous. It doesn't matter which discipline, it's dangerous. So let's jump into these tips right away. Number one, box them up. You've got to start letting hand combos go. If you are not somebody who's good at hand combos, you're more of a 1, 2, and that's it. You're not going to be able to capitalize on them because they are not as good at boxing as a kickboxer. And very often even an MMA fighter. Muay Thai is more based on letting the elbows go, engaging in the clinch, blasting in kicks, and throwing single shots with the hands, maybe doubling up. But it's when you start putting the pace on them with the hands, you start putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then following up with the kick. You get those combos going, and that's when I see the Muay Thai fighter struggling a little bit more defensively. Throws their timing off, throws the rhythm that they want, which is more chill. So getting those hand combos going is going to be paramount. And remember everybody, right now my defense course is once available again for you to purchase. 30 plus videos touching on everything you need to know for defense. And if you want to book a Zoom private with me, there's also a link down below where you can go on that and work one-on-one with me. Fantastic way, both of those, to improve your martial arts skill set. Tip number 2 is going to be put the pace of the fight in a realm that suits you. Every time I've fought a Muay Thai fighter, they want a slower pace. They want to be able to do this and throw 2 shots and then go back to this for a little bit. But if you can keep that pressure on them, build the fight up a little bit faster, it's going to suit you better than them. Is it a surefire way to get victory? No, absolutely not. You still have to have this skill set and apply everything else I'm talking about today. But in my experience, putting the faster pace on them is something they're not as good at. And all you have to do is watch somebody hit pads. Watch a Muay Thai fighter hit pads. Like 50–60% of the people are going to be going like this. Bang, bang, stop, bang. And they take these big long pauses. And while you can get great conditioning like that, it doesn't prep you up for a fight that is fast and it's going and there's no breaks. So get your cardio on point first of all, and then bring a pace to them which they're uncomfortable competing in. The next thing that I want to focus on is having stellar defense for body round kicks, but not just the defense, more importantly, have the counters down. Because Muay Thai fighters very often are going to be blasting round kicks and they're going to come at torso level because that score is very high in Thailand. But in North America, it doesn't score the same. So if somebody blasts in a big round kick and I'm able to block it and hit them back with a 3-piece combo, I'm probably going to win that exchange. And it's very discouraging for these guys because maybe they're more used to somebody trying to check and fire a round kick back. But you got to get those counters down. I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite. If you have somebody who loves the switch kick or they're a southpaw kicking off their back leg, you use the Dutch style block, you ride your feet together at the same time, boom, and then you blast in to their standing leg with a low kick. You chop up that leg. Simple, you just wait. Works time and time again. Alternatively, you block and you come back with a hook, or if it's the back arm, with the cross. But you don't just stop at one, you let at least 3 go. Great way to interrupt those kicks and just keep that fast-paced pressure on them, not let them kick, reset, and then kick again. As soon as you take that impact, you fire off those hand combos or that low kick. The next thing what you should be trying to do is incorporate unorthodox, fancy techniques into your fight style. Why do we want to do this? Well, Muay Thai, at the base of it, is relatively simple in terms of techniques. You don't see them bust out a lot of fancy things. The number of techniques they're throwing is fairly simplistic. They're very good at a simplistic style. But if you start taking pieces of karate and drawing them in, things like spinning back fists, spinning side kicks, even sometimes hook kicks or axe kicks, when you have not seen a technique and prepared defensively for it, it can throw so many things off. It can make opponents gun shy. You can land and all of a sudden throw off the rhythm. They get a little bit more hesitant. So there's so many things that you can accomplish. And in my experience, spinning back fists and spinning side kicks are very effective. But you can be more unorthodox and start throwing in those question mark kicks or axe kicks or other crazy things like Superman punches. These are all techniques where they're gonna go, oh, because they're not trained for them. Great strategy to defeating those Muay Thai opponents. Now, when facing a Muay Thai opponent, you have to assume that one of their big strategies is going to be clinch work. Even if we're under kickboxing rules, they might come forward and throw knees, but then fall to the clinch to make it very difficult for you to follow up. They can't get away with holding under kickboxing rules and blasting in lots of knees, but they can still stall the fight. So you want to have some methods, whether it be them locking up and firing knees or them just trying to stall the action. You want to have methods for making sure their clinch work is not going to go as easy as possible. I'm just going to give you two simple strategies that have worked for me to nullify the clinch or escape the clinch. Number one, as soon as somebody gets control of your head, whether it be one hand or two hands, you want to start getting your hips forward. And in my experience, hips forward is going to stop the knees from being super damaging, even if they do land. But the next thing I'm going to try and do is get my hands around their torso. Let me grab Bob here. So instead of letting them be at this distance where their hips can be backwards, yeah, they'll have their head close, but their hips are backwards, and that allows people to still fire knees up the middle. So instead of letting them do that, I get my hips forward, I lock my hands, and you can do this with a glove, lock their hands to their hip and just pull in. And now when they try to create any action, it's going to be very difficult for them because they're basically neutralized. Fantastic way to stall if they're trying to take advantage. Alternatively, you take both hands and you put them right into their face. Palm to the knuckles. So I'm just in this position here. And then I just stretch them away. If they're trying to stall action, they're trying to hold me now. I'm trying to get my punches going. I can't, just pry them away with both hands. And that in itself is a great way to make clinch work for them very difficult and to put it back into your realm, which will hopefully be lighting up with boxing and a fast-paced fight. And my final tip for defeating Muay Thai is to understand kick catching and be able to neutralize it. You don't have to catch their kicks. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's not something that a lot of other styles specialize in the way Muay Thai does. But when you throw a kick, whether it be low or high, could be front kicks, round kicks, you have to understand that there's a good chance these guys are going to catch it. And having the escapes down is going to be so important. Because if you just go here, your kick gets caught, and you just kind of hang there for half a second trying to figure out what to do, you're going to get swept out. You're going to end up on the ground, and that's just not a good look. MMA, you're in a terrible spot, and if it's some other sport, you have to pick yourself up, which is tiring as this guy gets the break. So one of the easiest ways to stop somebody from being able to effectively sweep you is don't let them move into you. Once you have your kick caught, you're going to get a frame between yourself and them. If I have a straight leg, there's no frame. They can walk in as deep as they want. But as soon as I throw my kick and it gets caught, I increase my pivot, I drop my knees slightly below my foot, and I have the shin here now against their torso. So their catch went from the side to kind of being drawn in front. Now as they try to progress forward, they have a shin in the way. And now from here, if they try to sweep this leg, I can jolt them backwards. As soon as they try to go for that kick, they get knocked back. It's a great way to stop people. And if I'm in a front kick position and they're holding me, same thing, I can still try and turn my leg over a little bit. In general, turning legs over makes it so much harder to hold on to it. That's why when we throw front kicks, if we can get that little turn at the end and turn it into that side teep, it's so much harder to grab. So implementing a strategy where it's hard for people to hold on to your kicks will give you the ability to go, yeah, I can still throw these techniques, because you don't want to disregard them, be like, oh, I'm not going to throw any kicks in the fight for fear of my opponent catching it. You go, no, I'm still going to throw the kicks. I'm just going to make it really difficult for him to catch them. And I can say from experience, there's not much worse in terms of catching a kick than them turning it over. You lose control of it, you try to rush in, and you end up getting your stomach just planted with a shin, which kind of knocks the wind out of you. Very discouraging after all the work of catching the kick, all the skills you built up. So add that into your arsenal. It will help you so much. And there you go, guys. 6 tips to defeating Muay Thai. It's not just, oh, I'm going to take one of these and it'll give me the ability to defeat this very dangerous style. You want to add them all in. There are many other methods, but I do think this style can be defeated if you take the right steps. Okay? If the person's skill level in Muay Thai is way up here and your skill level is down here in kickboxing or MMA, yeah, okay, these aren't going to work. But if you're on par with the person, which you should be when you enter the ring with somebody, your skills are somewhat level, and you use these little methods, it can give you the edge. Let's call it there. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you back here soon for another video.